Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, depending on where you're joining from. Welcome to today's LinkedIn Live. I'm Vidyadhar, Chief Product Officer at Trustume. For decades, hiring has been built on a very simple but fundamentally flawed construct, the static resume, a document that is self-declared, difficult to verify, and forces companies to spend significant time and cost just to establish basic trust. So at Trustume, we asked a different question. What if trust wasn't something you established at the end of hiring, but something that is built into every step of the hiring journey? And that question led us to build the Trustume engine. This is not just a profile or a standalone tool. It's a full lifecycle trust system that spans the entire hiring value chain. At the very beginning, through verified professional profiles, during evaluation by ensuring interview integrity into AI-based fraud detection, and at the end through comprehensive background verification before the offer. So trust is not just a checkpoint, it's a continuous signal. At a very high level, the Trustium engine operates across 4 layers. The capture layer, where rich dynamic career signals are gathered beyond resumes. Then you have the verify layer, where data is authenticated using AI and human expertise. And you have the intelligence layer, where verified data is matched to the right roles. And finally, the experience layer, where all of this is delivered in an intuitive, decision-ready format. And the outcome is very powerful. A hiring ecosystem built on verified trust from day one, all the way to the offer stage. And today, I would like to take you inside this engine. We'll look at why this shift matters, how the engine is built, how users experience it, and how verification works in practice, and what it means for the future of hiring. Let me introduce the team joining me today. The leaders on my team who are building each layer of the system. Srini, who leads engineering.
Hi everyone.
Geetaram, who leads design.
Hello everyone.
And Raj leads verification.
Hello everyone.
And Project leads our go-to-market efforts.
Hi everyone.
With that, let's dive in. And as we go, please drop your questions into the Q&A. We'll take as many questions as we can towards the end. So let's start with grounding this, the vision that I mentioned in reality. So Project, from what we have been seeing in the market and what we are currently seeing in the market today, why is this shift from resumes to a trust-driven system? Why is this becoming more and more urgent and necessary?
Sure. Thanks for having us, Vidyadhar, first of all, and I hope the session will be helpful today. Okay, let's look at it this way. Business have seen rapid growth since this AI shift or whatever they have been working together. However, the process of hiring, the process of like auditing the talent has not been evolved in years to come. However, what we have seen in the market right now is the resume is at the end of the day is the self-declared asset of a job seeker. At the end of the day, there is no way to authenticate that. That's why 78% of resumes that we see in the market are having inaccuracies, having a lot of gaps that the employer is just not capable enough to identify at the stage that they are hiring. Because of this, every company or every industry, I mean, entire industry for that matter, is wasting about 70,000 hours of time. I mean, $70,000 of hours of time. Look at the massive loss to the company that is bringing. On top of it, since the COVID outbreak, we have seen a rapid increase of remote working and remote hiring. That's why the proxy interviews accuracies in the resume has grown a lot. We have seen that 1 in 6 interviews that people job seekers give or employers take contain a lot of proxy interviews and a lot of issues where again the talent and entire quality is gone for a toss. What we need in the market currently is a multi-dimensional view of a talent, which along with the resume also will have the video intro maybe or a skill assessment thing available for their employer where they can automate and authenticate the talent that they're seeing. However, that's not enough. Skill verification and the video intros may only have a certain area covered. But what actually matters for the employer is the employment verification, like the background check and other things. We have seen in the market that companies do this at, let's say, the middle of uh, the flow of the hiring. But what we are trying to do, or what market demands, is that we need to shift the entire verification at the start of the cycle. Uh, as we sort of grow into this conversation, we will discuss about how that's being done. But right now, market is in need of that particular solution where they know the skill verification, employment verification, as well as provide a multidimensional view of a talent so that they can hire properly and invest in the right talent.
Thank you, Project. And so, what we're really hearing is that the market is demanding certainty much earlier in the funnel. And that's exactly what the Trustume engine is designed to deliver. Now, Srini, let's go one level deeper into the engine. So, at a system level, how does our architecture bring this verification first vision to life? And how are we also extending that trust into moments like live interviews using AI?
Yeah, Vidhu. So at Trustium, verification is not a checkbox. It's the first thing, okay, the moment the candidate actually adds their employment history, we instantly fire a request to the employer. So we don't really take the candidate's votes alone. Our platform communicates directly with the organization. They confirm, I mean, the response, okay, which we get it's going to be a confirm or a deny. So we actually do validate those. And based on that, once it's been verified, that would be visible instantly to the recruiters. Recruiters would never actually need to shift to unverified noise. We do actually have some, when coming to the AI initiatives from our end, we do actually have the AI interviews, so the mock interviews, which can enable whenever it's needed for the job seekers or the recruiters. The AI interviews actually is going to help them to actually detect the lip syncs, the hand gestures, the eye movements, or any of the fake noises, okay, which actually are in the surroundings, which eliminates the proxy interviews. And to just keep it loud and enough, we say verified candidates stand out and recruiters trust them more.
Yeah, and that's a critical point, right? What we are building here is not just a verification layer, but a continuous trust signal, even during live interactions like interviews. So, what's really interesting in this engine is that it's not just automation, right? It's intelligent orchestration. So, Srini, can you walk us through how the system decides what to automate versus what to route for human validation, so we maintain both the speed and accuracy at the same time?
Yeah. So as actually I mentioned earlier that any information being provided, the verified details being provided from the candidate would be like, okay, sent directly to the employer. So the candidate never need to actually go and check, okay, or do any heavy lifting from their end. So we do the background checks automatically. But when, okay, it comes to the automation, even that actually has a limits. So we do have some cases where, okay, it may need to go for a manual intervention. So let me go with the three different scenarios, okay, which I'm actually talking about. One, when we actually sent out a communication and the employer never actually responded for it. We might have actually sent, despite repeated follow-ups, they might have not responded to it. That might be a case when, okay, it goes to the manual human intervention. And the second case would be when an employer sends a response which actually conflicts with what, okay, the candidate has actually put in into his resume. At the time of feeding in the data, he might have actually given a different, uh, let's say, the experience, which, okay, he did not work in the particular organization. If there is any response, okay, which conflicts, even then also it actually goes for a human intervention. And the third one is we might actually detect some inconsistencies or okay, suspicious patterns when okay, this the candidates might actually have provided some incorrect information, providing their friends information or okay, any of the old colleagues information instead of the actual one. So these are the three different cases where okay, we try to observe it and try to send it to the manual human intervention of this. So these cases would be routed directly to our dedicated operations team. So they actually take the senior verifier actually reviews all the full context of what, okay, it's been done so far, and then, okay, decides a final call that, okay, it's going to be a verified or okay, it's going to be a not verified candidate.
Got it. And then that balance really between the AI and human validation is really what makes our Trustume system credible at scale, right? And as this engine scales, the challenge is not just handling volume, but maintaining that trust at scale. So, Srini, how are we architecting the platform so this entire verification and the matching flow, it all works seamlessly for millions and millions of users without breaking latency or without breaking the experience?
Yeah, Trustume is completely built native from the ground. The day okay, we started it, we actually started our designs with the microservices which can be scaled independently on demand. We run on industry-leading cloud infrastructure. Our platform can be expanded itself within seconds during the peak traffic hours. And we don't really need any manual intervention for that. So if there's any peak hours and specific service, then it's automatically going to scale up itself out there. Our services are containerized and orchestrated through our Kubernetes. So this gives us the ability to scale up or any part of the system in a zero downtime. We do understand the load of the recruiters where, okay, they search for the candidates. So the recruiters, for them, okay, we have the Elasticsearch in place, which can give the data within, okay, milliseconds. So this, considering all these things, apart from that, we actually have a load balancer, which is going to which is going to balance all the nodes, and it's going to spread across. And we have a strict SLE, which can actually guarantee any of the uptime also.
Yeah, and I want to reiterate one point that you mentioned. So, scalability here in Trustume is not just about handling massive volumes. It's about preserving the trust integrity at that massive volume, which is fundamentally much more harder. And that is what we are solving with our Trustume engine. And of course, the foundation of any trust engine is security, right? So, Srini, if you can take us through how we are embedding the data protection into every layer of the system. So, trust is not just promised, but it is guaranteed by design.
Yeah. At the security level, security at Trustium is not a feature. It's part of the architectural blueprint from the day one. So all the information which is being protected from the AES encryption and any transit, okay, which happens from the platform to the recruiter or the candidate is over the HTTPS. So we do have all the system being set right from the day one. We never actually tried compromising on this security wise. Candidates actually have the full ownership of their profile. They can decide if they wanted their data to be visible to any of the recruiters or not. And they have all the rights to actually opt out from the system also. And every single event is being logged into our audit trails. And we ensure that the tokenization is based on the respective access for their platform. The candidates actually have their own and the recruiters actually have their own. And we are aligned with the SOC 2 compliance frameworks, and we have planned a regular penetration testing cycles, okay, which actually happens in our day to day. I mean, day to day in sense, it's been planned on a need basis.
Right, right. And that really reinforces that trust within Trustume is not just a feature. It is built into the very foundation of the platform. And like you rightly mentioned, the SOC 2 compliance certificate that we got earlier this year is a very good representation of our mindset towards security. So what we've seen now is how the engine works behind the scenes, how it captures, verifies, and structures the data at scale. But for this to truly work, all of this complexity has to feel incredibly simple and intuitive to the user, right? So, Geetaram, how does design act as that layer that makes this powerful engine feel effortless for both the candidates and the recruiters, from designing dynamic profiles that capture attention quickly, while at the same time presenting this verified in a clear and usable way to the users?
Yeah. Hi Vidhu, thanks for bringing up this topic. Actually, it's an important part of the candidate user experience. Usually, design is about so much more than making things look good, but at Trustume, our design philosophy is to build empathy and at every point to be designed simple, intuitive user experiences and to make them more meaningful insights in the user engagement. And here the key achievement is we designed profiles that go beyond traditional resumes by combining video introductions, portfolios, verified skills, and certifications that helps recruiters quickly understand their skills and capabilities while creating more engaging hiring experiences. At the same time, we also have a built-in identity verification and authenticity checks for the employer side. For every profile remains security and trust. And also, we believe candidates should have complete control on their profile identity, where users can share what the information is accessed uh, to be personalized and balance the trust and data protection.
Right. So it's not just about making profiles engaging, it's about making the verified data instantly understandable and actionable and usable by our users. So if the engine is producing rich verified data, the real challenge is then to make that instantly usable, right? So from the recruiter side, Geetaram, how do we design these experiences where hiring managers can act on this intelligence immediately without feeling overwhelmed by the complex verification data that we're providing?
Yeah, actually, for employers, our goal is to simplify complex hiring data into intuitive experiences. We use clean visual dashboards that presents verification statuses, candidates' insights, and key metrics in the clear, organized way, making them easy for their hiring process. We also follow a clarity at a glance. So that's our design approach in the employer side, where we can make minimal efforts to take the quick decisions by hiring a candidate or processing a profile further. So this is actually a clarity at a glance is our first design approach in employer side.
Yeah, and that clarity at a glance is very critical because the value of this engine is speed with confidence. And beyond usability, perception also matters, right? The engine may be secure, but the user has to feel that trust. So, how do we design interfaces that visually and emotionally communicate that safety when users are sharing these personal professional data, Geetaram?
Yeah, so here we designed the onboarding experiences to be transparent and recurring. Candidates can clearly see the progress of their profile verification through simple status updates and progress indicators. So they also see what the stage, what they comes from, and they remove uncertainty that builds confidence through the processes. We also use positive user-friendly language and intuitive steps that makes onboarding feels very engaging rather than overwhelming. Instead of verification as an inspiration, we presented it's an opportunity to strengthen the candidate's profile. It gives more credibility and improves their chances of getting noticed for the employers. So here is a simple process for both employers and job seekers. The profile is very transparent. It looks very transparent to the job seeker because he see all his skills, abilities, and verifications along with the video introduction so that he can easily identify the person and perception of a candidate. And also in the same way, all the jobs he is going to be applied from the employer's, sorry, job seeker side, all these jobs are verified and uh, trusted jobs. So it's a complete transparent ecosystem for both employers and job seekers. So everywhere the user feels that transparent, so that he is applying for a right job and the employer is choosing a right candidate. So in everywhere the user will feel the transparency.
Yeah, and
And
that is
most
very
importantly, the
important
trust.
because even the most secure system only works if users feel that trust,
Yeah.
right? So far, what we've seen is how the engine is built. and how it is experienced. But the real differentiator of our Trustume engine is that it is not just an automated system. It is a continuously validated ecosystem that ensures real world credibility, like Srini was earlier speaking about. So, Raj, your team is a very critical part of this engine, and you play a central role in turning trust into an operational reality for users. Now, we know that traditional hiring systems are dependent on a broken intake layer or a broken input layer, and so they start with noisy, unverified data. I want to hear from you, Raj, how our Trustium engine and specifically our verification operations model, how that helps eliminate the inefficiencies that we see in ATS-based filtering today, and how we ensure that every profile maintains real-world credibility.
Definitely, we do. So, see, today in the market, so if there is a requirement posted by any recruiter, so we see a number of applicants. So, and out of which 80% of those profiles are fabricated. So, to fix this issue, so coming to our platform Trustium, so I would say it has a robust verification process. The term I used robust because the profiles which a job seeker is going to upload or a profile which is applied by a job seeker for any job. So they're all pre-verified in the sense their skills, their employment, everything are pre-verified. And we have a set team who will be core working on verifications of their employment. See, it's a process. So I'll explain the process, how it works. So whenever a job seeker is trying to apply for a job, so uh, he has to uh, uh, first of all he'll be registering in our application. So while registering at that point of time, he'll be providing the employer details, and he will provide the consent by which we'll get the confirmation from their employer, and that we consider it as verification. And for after that, we have a set of multi-level assessment, skill assessment process. They undergo, and there'll be a video resume. All these really helps the recruiter to understand more on the candidate, on the job seeker, I would say, and it helps them to submit the right profile, more suitable profile to the hiring manager or the clients. So
Right.
this builds a lot of confidence to the recruiter and also to the hiring manager, because the profiles which this recruiter is submitting are all uh, matchable and very suitable to the job whatever they are posted. So this will also increase the operational bandwidth of a company by shortening the submission turnaround time. Usually it takes hours usually, but here
Right.
we are completing all these tasks within few minutes. So it's definitely very much helpful. Very Trustum is very much helpful to the recruiters at this current day-to-day hiring process which they are involved into.
Yeah, and that level of efficiency is possible because instead of filtering out noise, we are starting with verified signal, which fundamentally changes the game in the hiring. So once this engine is in place, Raj, the real impact comes from how deeply it integrates into the enterprise workflows, right? So once the enterprises adopt this, how do we help them embed this engine into their everyday workflows?
So we we have, uh, as I mentioned, so the verification process, we have a set team who will be corely working on verifying these profiles. So at the enterprise level, so definitely, so for example, for hiring a for while working on a requirement, So the recruiter has to go through with the traditional process of posting a job, sourcing a candidate, and talking to the candidate once we get the applications. So out of which, so spending more time on these fabricated profiles. So here, as we are all, as Trustume is doing all these job before, the recruiter is getting into the by looking into the candidate's profile. So this will definitely provide edge to the company, the company which is working for, and also it helps a lot to the recruiter in cut shortening the recruitment time.
Yeah, and that partnership aspect is key because transformation happens when this becomes part of the daily decision making for enterprises.
Yes.
Now, at this point, we've broken down the Trustume engine from how it is built to how it is experienced to how it is validated in the real world. So, Project, the challenge now is helping the market understand why this is such a fundamental shift. How do we communicate this shift to the market that's significantly still relying on legacy platforms that are built on unverified data?
Actually, we are not trying to replace anything here, and our messaging already, brings around whole revolves around that way that there is nothing to be replaced. But we need to identify a fundamental problem that is going on. Let's look at how industry works first of all. All the legacy players, they have the tons of resumes, all of them are unverified, but that's what they are looking for. Their entire monetization model is based on that. Their success metrics are how many clicks are on their resumes, how many resumes are there, how many dump is there, basically. They don't care about the inaccuracies or what you are doing because at the end of the day, the accountability of authenticating that talent entirely relies on the employer. What we are trying to do at Trustume is, and Srinivas and Geetaram has rightly described the entire operation. We are not saying that we are trying to, replace any of whatever your operational workflows are. As you rightly mentioned with the yourself, that we need to understand how important it is to integrate Trustume with whatever enterprise flows that are already there in the market. What we say is that we are a authentication layer on top of your already existing ATS platforms. Instead of staying in the middle of the funnel, we stay at the front, at the gate, where even before you have a conversation with any of your job seeker who is like applying to you or you are trying to reach out to him, is already verified, not just from the skill set verification point of view, but also from the employment point of view. Like you know that this particular person exists. You have a personal touch after seeing his intro video. You know that his entire history that he has put in is verified by our verification engine, Raj's team, and the operation that we do behind that. And then with the help of that, we are trying to sort of say that okay, this entire profile is good for you, and you will not be facing any fraud or any sort of inaccuracies if you are hiring that talent. Now that's what our messaging is all about. And we also say that because of you doing this, we, as I mentioned in the beginning, you're saving that $70,000 of hours of wasting time that your company or your industry is sort of facing right now. That's the important message from our side. If you want to have a hiring that is trusted, and if you want to hire fast but with trust, this is where Trustume comes in, and this is where entire and there is no way the other legacy player can actually translate this, because all of them are relying on unverified data because their success metrics are that, and they don't want to sort of do it because at the end of the day, their monetization model will be disturbed. And that's what in Trustume we are trying to do, and we're trying to solve this problem through our verification engine.
Thank you, Projects, for clearly showcasing that why the fundamental shift is needed in thinking, in the mindset, and also for clearly showcasing how legacy platforms are still built on unverified data and where Trustume is adding value by starting to work on verified data instead of the noise. So, and that's very critical. So, what we have really outlined at this stage is we've outlined a complete rethinking of the hiring stack centered around a verification first, trust driven engine. Now, at this stage, I really want to open this up to the audience so that we can dive into some of your questions on how the system works in practice. So, let me go through the questions quickly. We have some interesting questions here, very insightful questions as well that will go deeper into our model and the Trustium engine. So we have a question around verifications and a question from maybe Raj, if you can take this question, please. This comes from Vamshi. Vamshi is asking, as companies move towards skills-based hiring, how does the verified Trustium profile give a more authentic picture compared to traditional CVs?
Yeah. So I think Vamshi must be from a recruitment background, so I can answer his question. So today, the typical hiring process would follow sourcing of a profile, talking to the candidate, and submitting the shortlisted profile to the hiring manager. Then the interviews happens, and then a BGV is initiated. So all these are a typical process which we usually follow. But what if Vamshi gets a candidate who is a pre-verified before even submitting to the client? So it really cut shorts almost two-thirds of his time, I would say. For example, if he has to source a profile, he have to contact the candidate, understand his skills, and then submit to the hiring manager. So all this process would definitely take 1 or 2 hours of time. So within minutes, by using Trustium, he can be able to pull out the right candidate, pre-verified, assessment done, and everything ready, fully tailored profile, I would say, is ready to submit the profile. So he'll submit it to the hiring manager, and yeah, his the hiring manager is happy because he got the profile, and always it's first come first serve. So Vamshi will be in the he'll be first in the race. I
Thank you,
hope I
Raj. I think
answered
that
Vamshi.
yes, and that clearly details out the need for Trustium and the value that Trustium is adding compared to giving out or handing out traditional CVs. Um, and we also have another interesting question. This is around design. This is from Ranjit. So maybe Gitaram, you can pick this question up. Ranjit is asking, how do we continuously incorporate job seeker feedback to ensure profiles truly represent their career journey?
Yes, we do. So yeah, we believe that every product is built with listening the users. We continuously gather the feedbacks from the users, and we build empathy around it, what they feel, where the problem is facing. So as we are building a world-class product, the product is for everyone. So we have to take care about the user journey and users feedback. Actually, it helps a lot. Even not not in the users, I mean job seekers. We also faced a couple of feedbacks, and they are very impactful actually from the launch events also. And it actually helps a lot for us. And with the help of the feedbacks, we refine the profile customizations and giving the candidates more flexibility. And actually, we are not just building a job seeker's profile, we are building a profile identity. So at Trustium, this is not just a profile, it's a professional identity where they can share, and they ensure every profile feels aesthetic, personalized, and truly reflects their unique career journey.
Yeah, that's very important, Geetaram. Thanks for sharing that. And so I have another question around AI fairness. This is from Madhu. So I'd like Srini to take this up, please. Srini, the question is, how do we ensure that our AI-driven matching remains fair, objective, and focused purely on verified competency?
Yeah, that's a great question, Madhu. I hope, okay, many of the members who are watching this also might be having the same question. So let me just take you how okay our platform really works. Our AI purely actually depends upon the competency signals. It doesn't look for any of the other demographics data. So it only looks for the skills, location, experience, education. So these are the title. So these are the things, okay, which drives your profile altogether. It doesn't actually go and okay check okay what is your gender, what's your ethnicity, what's your age. That doesn't matter for our AI. So even though you belong to a prestigious educational institute or a normal education institute, only the degree which you hold okay matters, but not actually the institute altogether here. So considering all these things, the information which has been provided by either say A and B, we both actually matches, and we actually get the data out with a search by a recruiter, and both actually have the same ranking. It's not going to have a ranking of say an upper one for a prestigious educational, and okay for a non-prestigious, okay, it's not going to have a different ranking. So it doesn't actually get biased on any of the inputs, okay, which has been provided. It's purely based on what, okay, you actually have it, the skills, location, experience, title, and your employment. So these are the only things, okay, which matters for us.
Yeah, and I want to quickly add to what Srini so clearly explained by diving into the nuts and bolts of the AI in fairness, especially. See, our philosophy is that AI should always augment human decision making, but it should not replace it, so that the fairness and accountability is always ensured. So that's our philosophy. And uh, I see a question from Sarala. This is around resources and the vision of our Trustume platform. So I'll take this question. And also, I'm rephrasing some of these questions to so that we can focus on the core point of the question rather than the actual on the dots and then the T's. So the question from Sarala really is around what it takes to build a system like Trustume and where we are headed over the next 5 years. So, on the resources front, what is important to understand is that building the Trustume engine is not just a technology investment. It is a deeply cross-functional effort where engineering, design, verification operations, go-to-market teams, all of these teams are working in tight alignment every single day. So engineering, for example, builds a scalable foundation. Then you have the design team, which ensures the usability and trust. And you have the operations team, which brings the real world validation and credibility into the engine. And then you have the marketing team, which ensures the value is clearly understood and adopted and explained well and displayed well to the users. It's this continuous collaboration across multiple functions that allows us to deliver a system that is not only innovative, but it is also practical, reliable, and scalable in real world hiring environments. And with regards to the vision, looking ahead, our vision is very clear, Sarla. By this time next year, by June 2027, we aim to make the Trustium profile the global standard for professional identity, where every hiring decision anywhere in the world, it is built on verified trusted data from the very first interaction. And to get there, we will continue to invest not just in technology, but in the alignment and excellence of the teams building this together. And I hope that answers your question, Sarla. And I hope these answers that my leaders over here are providing along with me, these are clearing and clarifying the doubts and questions that are there both from the recruiter side and also from the job seeker side. And I'm also seeing some more fantastic questions still coming through in the Q&A window. But we're at the top of the hour right now, so we won't be able to get to all of them live today. But please keep them coming. My team and I, we will review every question and we will follow up with responses over the next 1 to 2 days. And as we wrap up, I want to bring us back to one central idea. What we've discussed today is not just a better resume or a faster hiring workflow. What we are building at Trustume is a fundamentally new hiring foundation, and it is an engine where trust is embedded at every stage, from verified profiles to integrity in interviews to confidence at the final offer. And this represents a shift from guesswork to certainty. It represents a shift from volume to verified quality, and from trust as an afterthought to trust by design. And most importantly, this only works because every team involved is aligned around that shared vision that I was talking about from the beginning, to build a system where trust becomes measurable, scalable, and universal. And I would like to take this time to invite all of you to experience this new standard. So please visit trustume.com, be a part of shaping the future of hiring along with us. So thank you to my incredible team over here, and thank you all for joining us today. The future of hiring won't be built on resumes, it will be built on trust. And that future starts right here, right now. Please join us. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.